In Menorca Open 2025 Open Round 6, Vetokhin steers the game into a well-known Nimzondian defense normal variation Schlechter defense, testing Kanov's preparation. On d4. Knight f6. On c4. On e6. Knight c3. Bishop b4. Knight f3. On b6. On e3. King castled kingside. Bishop d3. We are now in the Nimzondian defense normal variation Schlechter defense. Vetokhin intends to play on e4, on d5, on e5, knight e4, king castled kingside, bishop b7, queen c2, and gain a significant edge. On d5 played by Kanov. On takes d5. On takes d5. King castled kingside. Bishop a6. Bishop takes a6. Knight takes a6. Queen a4. Vetokhin is planning to play queen takes a6. On b5. Knight e5 and establish a winning position. Queen c8 played by Kanov. Bishop d2. Queen b7. Knight e5. On c5. On takes c5. On takes c5. Rook fd1. It is novelty move. Rook fe8. Threatening rook takes e5. Knight d3 played by Vetokhin. Rook ab8. On a3. Threatening pawn takes b4. Bishop takes c3 played by Kanov. Bishop takes c3. Knight e4. Knight f4. Threatening rook takes d5. Knight takes c3 played by Kanov. On takes c3. Knight c7. On h3. Rook ed8. Rook d2. Rook d6. Rook ad1. Rook bd8. On e4. Vetokhin is aiming to play knight takes d5. Knight takes d5. Rook takes d5. Rook takes d5. On takes d5 and dominate the board. On d4 played by Kanov. On e5. Threatening pawn takes d6. Rook a6 played by Kanov. Threatening rook takes a4. Queen c2 played by Vetokhin. Threatening pawn takes d4. Knight d5 played by Kanov. Threatening knight takes f4. Queen e4 played by Vetokhin. Vetokhin is looking to play on c4. Rook takes a3. Knight takes d5 and seize the initiative. Queen b3 played by Kanov. Threatening knight takes c3. Knight takes d5 played by Vetokhin. Queen takes d5. Queen takes d5. Rook takes d5. On takes d4. On g5. On takes c5. Rook takes c5. Rook d8 check. King g7. Rook e8. Vetokhin's idea is to play rook d7. Rook c1 check. King h2. Rook c2. On f4. Rook f2. On takes g5 and gain a significant edge. Rook c7 played by Kanov. Rook dd8. Rook b6. Rook d3. On a6. King h2. Vetokhin is looking to play. On g3. Rook c2. King g2. Rook e2. Rook dd8. Rook e6. Rook g8 check. King h6 and gain a significant edge. Rook g6 played by Kanov. King g3. Rook e6. Threatening rook takes e8. Rook takes e6 played by Vetokhin. On takes e6. Rook d6. Rook takes a6. On h6. On f4. On takes f4 check. King takes f4. Rook c4 check. King e3. Rook c2. Rook a4. Rook takes g2. Rook f4 check. King e7. Rook f3. King d7. King e4. Rook e2 check. Rook e3. Threatening rook takes e2. Rook a2 played by Kanov. King f4. Vetokhin wants to play. King g4. King c6. King h5. Rook h2. On h4. King c5. On a4 and dominate the board. Rook g2 played by Kanov. Rook d3 check. King e7. Rook b3. Rook f2 check. King e4. King d7. Rook b7 check. King c6. Threatening king takes b7. Rook e7 played by Vetokhin. Rook e2 check. King d4. Rook d2 check. King c4. Rook c2 check. King b3. Threatening king takes c2. Rook e2 played by Kanov. Rook takes e6 check. King b5. King c3. Vetokhin is planning to play. King d4. Rook d2 check. King e3. Rook a2. Rook takes h6 and take decisive advantage. King c5 played by Kanov. King d3. Threatening king takes e2. Rook e1 played by Kanov. On a4. Threatening rook takes h6. On h5 played by Kanov. On a5. King d5. Rook b6. Think carefully what is the best move for Kanov. King c5 is the right idea because Rook e6. Rook h1. King e4. Rook takes h3. Rook e8. King c6. Still Kanov is losing. Let's go to the main variation. Threatening king takes e6. Rook b6 played by Vetokhin. Rook h1. Take a moment to spot the best move for Vetokhin. On e6 is best move here because Rook a1. On a6. Rook a3 check. King d2. Rook a2 check. King c3. Vetokhin have small advantage shifting to the main line. Rook h1 is not the best move played by Kanov. King e3. Do not rush. Can you find the strongest move for Kanov? King takes e5 is the correct move because Rook b5 check. King d6. Rook takes h5. Rook a1. On h4. Rook a3 check. Still Kanov is losing. Let's go to the main line. King e3 slightly worse move played by Vetokhin. Rook takes h3 check is not the best move played by Kanov. King f4. Vetokhin wants to play. On e6. Rook h1. On a6. Rook f1 check. King g5. Rook g1 check. King takes h5 and sees the initiative. Rook h1 played by Kanov. Rook d6 check. King c5. On a6. On h4. King g4. On h3. On a7. Threatening pawn promotes to queen at a8. Rook a1 played by Kanov. King takes h3. Rook takes a7. King g4. Rook f7. King g5. Rook f1. Rook d2. King c6. On e6. King c7. On e7. Threatening pawn promotes to queen at e8. Rook e1 played by Kanov. King f6. Rook f1 check. King e6. Rook e1 check. Rook f1 check. King e8. Vetokhin might go for Rook c2 check. King b6. Rook h2. King c7. Rook h8. King d6. King d8 and dominate the board. Rook f3 played by Kanov. Rook c2 check. King b7. Rook c4. Rook f1. King d7. Rook d1 check. King e6. Rook e1 check. King d6. Pause the video and find the best move for Kanov. King b6 is the right idea because Rook c6 check. King b5. Rook c5 check. King b4. Rook e5. Rook takes e5. Still Kanov is losing. Let's explore the main game. King d6. Rook d1 check turns the tide in the opponent's favor. Played by Kanov. King e5. Rook e1 check. Rook e4. A masterful performance by Vetokhin.